Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to give it a couple more minutes. We have a few people left in the waiting room. We'll start here briefly, but we'll let them in. We're just verifying people as they register. Everyone, we're going to give it a couple minutes. Okay, I think we're down to the last few that are not, we don't know who they are. So I'm going to ask Emily to go out on our registration list and see if you can email who you think it might be and confirm. And once you confirm, you let them in. But we do need to confirm who they are. So we'll go ahead and get started with those of you who are here, because I do want to be respectful of everyone's time. First of all, I want to say welcome, and I want to affect some brief introductions. My name is Anthony Owen. I'm the State Director of Computer Science. I'm the one that you've been getting a lot of the annoying emails over regarding this, but so glad that you are here with us today. I want to introduce Kelly Griffin, who is also on the call with us, and Kelly is our lead statewide computer science specialist. I also want to introduce Zach Spink. Zach, are you out there? Yes. And Zach is our statewide computer science specialist that will be the primary instructor for the 2-week certification program during the academy. I also want to introduce some individuals from our public university partners, and I'm going to ask Sarah and Sandra after I introduce the two that I have listed for each, that if there are other members of your team here, jump in and introduce them also. First is Sarah Burnett, who is the university partner point of contact for Arkansas Tech University. So those of y'all who are looking to get your graduate credit through ATU, she will be your primary contact for everything regarding ATU. We also have Dr. Rebecca Cunningham, I believe, out there, was going to join us, but she is the coordinating professor at ATU. So she will be the one signing off on your grades. So definitely make sure that you get to know her well also. So Sarah, I'll stop there and see if there's anybody else from ATU that is on the call that you want to introduce.
Yes. So Dr. Jerry Woods is also on the call. He is actually, he's over our grad program for the Computer Science Information Technology Department. So he will also be, along with Becky Cunningham, working with the students, or with you as teachers as the students in the grad program, to get your grades submitted and get you your credit. And then they are also going to be huge partners in getting you the information and questions that you have about different courses and different coursework and different tracks that you might be considering as well.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. And if anybody on ATU wants to jump in and say hello, you're welcome to briefly. If not, we'll move on. Okay. Next will be Sandra Leiterman. She is our university partner point of contact, UA Little Rock. And I believe we have Dr. Philip Huff online also. So Sandra, and same roles, Sandra is your primary contact for everything regarding UA Little Rock's program. Dr. Huff is coordinating professor. So again, and then I'll turn it over to Sandra and see if there's anybody else from UA Little Rock that she needs to recognize.
Hi, yes, thank you. Dr. Albert Baker is also online with us, and he is the department chair of our computer science department.
Good afternoon, folks.
Hello, Dr. Baker. Glad you could join us today. And then I'm just going to take a point of personal privilege. I know I've already mentioned Kelly and Zach, but I also want them to just briefly say hello, and then I'll kick it around to the other ADCS specialist team members that are here, because I always like to get them out in front of teachers so y'all know that they're a resource for you, even outside the academy. So Kelly, we'll start with you and then kick it to one of our other team members, and we'll popcorn it around. So our team members.
Good afternoon, I'm Kelly Griffith. I'm going to I'm actually having a lot with Anthony. I will turn it over to Leslie.
Okay, Kelly, I don't know if you have two computers or two things going in your area, but we're getting some massive feedback from you. So she said hello, everyone. We'll go to Zach next and then let Zach kick it around.
Okay. Hi, I'm Zach Spink. As Anthony said, I'll be the lead instructor when it comes to the 2-week portion of the academy this summer. If you're going to be for preparation for the praxis, I'm sure there'll be time for me to talk more on that later. But up here in Northeast Arkansas, we got some ice, so good times. I'm going to kick it over to Leslie.
Hi guys, I'm down way south, so lucky for us we do. It's been dreary and nasty, but we haven't had ice, so I feel for you guys, but I will say we are still cold. But I am Miss Savelle, and I'm housed here at Hope and actually live in Texarkana. So if you need me, that's where you can find me.
You got to pick somebody, Leslie.
I'm going to go with Jim.
Okay, I'll take it from there. My name is Jim Furness. I am in Central Arkansas. I will be with you in the academy for the 2 weeks. Just glad to see you, glad to have you here for sure. It's a fun time. It's a fun training. We have a lot of fun with it. So I will kick it over to Eli.
Hi there, my name is Eli McRae. I will be at the advanced trainings for the Educator Academy. I'll be doing advanced cybersecurity, advanced networking. I'm in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And so if you guys need us, reach out. So I'll pick Alex Muller.
Hi, I'm Alex Muller. I'm housed in Beebe, Arkansas at Will Redeem Mills Cooperative. And if you do elect to take the advanced robotics training, I look forward to seeing you there as well. And I will kick it over to Mark. I believe Mark Barnes. I saw you, Mark.
Hey guys, I am the newbie on the team. I am I'm located in Little Rock, and my area of specialization is artificial intelligence and data science. And who have we missed here? Who else is here?
We have Lori and Emily out there.
Emily said she wanted someone to introduce her. I'll pass it to Lori.
Hi, Lori Kegabine. I'm the specialist that's in Hot Springs. I'm housed out of Arkansas School for Math, Science, and the Arts, and I am the Java person on the team. And was there Emily supposed to get a special introduction that I don't know about?
Emily is admitting people.
I'll take it over. So Emily is assistant in our office. We'll be helping you all out with travel requests, things of that nature. Know a lot of y'all already use our CS4AR email address. Just so you're aware, that email actually is automatically sent to myself, Kelly, Emily, and Morgan Aldridge, who is not here, but a member of our team. She took the afternoon off for some family reasons. So we're not going to go around and do introductions for everybody today, but whenever we get in the academy, you'll have some time to network with the individuals that are part of it and make some good connections there. So we're going to jump back to the PowerPoint because, we can't do anything this day without a presentation. So briefly, I just want to talk about the purpose of the Academy and remind y'all of this. And the reason I'm doing this is because I I want individuals who are signing up for this to ensure that that they know what they're getting into. So this academy was established to not only provide teachers with options to become certified to teach CS, whether it be through an approval code and eventually getting toward a full endorsement through testing. It also provides participants with 6 graduate hours in 6 graduate hours for computer science, and then an additional 12 through the 2 university partners. So, what's going to be covered during the summer is basic computer science, provides a starting point for new teachers, relevant information for passing the praxis. If you're sitting out there saying, I already have that, I've already passed this, I've got a 528, I'll get to what it means for y'all in a little bit. Gain approval to teach high school computer science and earn post-secondary credits, as I mentioned earlier. So the main thing that I want everybody to remember is that the academy is designed for participants who want to earn 18 hours in graduate level computer science credit. If you don't have a desire to do that, we have a lot of different and better options for you to consider. So this is only if you want to go through the full program and earn those graduate level credits. We had individuals that signed up last summer. I don't know that they didn't read the instructions or what, but we had some individuals that end up with Fs in graduate level credit because they wouldn't do the simple things that we need them to do. And trust me, it's not hard. It's a matter of, did you attend? Did you engage? Did you participate? And then we do have to have an assessment, and it's not a hard assessment. In fact, we're going to give you all a digital notebook that the answers to the assessment, you just go back to the digital notebook and you can find them. But so it's not a hard lift for the initial 6 hours. Now, I'm going to let the 2 university partners talk about their additional 12 hours in a little bit because they are more formalized class options. But I just want you to realize what you're getting into. If you are only seeking certification, the is no way for you to go. And I'm going to open this document and then share. I'm going to zoom in. The links to the presentation we've dropped in chat. We'll drop it in chat again for you all. But this is a document that we put together last year as we were working on the 414. And by the way, if I look away from y'all, realize I have 3 monitors. So I'm not ignoring y'all. I'm looking at a monitor over here where my presentation is. So, but this gives our different options for licensure. Now, believe it or not, the academy is not necessarily on this, but going through the academy, if you complete the 2 weeks of training, you're going to receive an approval code if you don't already have a 5016 or 528. That's why it says multiple pathways. The thing about it is that you can get that approval code by going through our 1 week trainings, our high school certification prep trainings, which I'll show you where to find that in a little. So you don't have to go through the academy just to get the approval code or test out. Please be aware of that. Again, this is for individuals who are looking for graduate level credit in CS. Okay. And now we'll see if I can figure out how to go back to my other screen without, I guess I'll stop sharing and then love it when technology works. Sorry, give me just a second, guys. My screen over here is locked on full screen, and there it goes. Now it's letting me minimize it. Something about computer scientists, right? Okay. So the other document that I want to show, and I'm just not going to full screen this time, I'll just blow it up, and that way I don't get locked out again, is the second link here. And this goes into our professional development options. And what this has is, again, that high school certification preparation program. We have links. We're already launching those this summer. You see the links to different co-op areas. The thing about it is also be aware that all of our trainings are open regardless of your co-op area. So if you see something in your co-op area that it doesn't work for you because of time, or you see a training that would be better for you in another co-op because of timing or driving distance, sign up for it. We don't care. The co-ops, if they end up billing your schools, let me know, send the bill to me. I'll pay the co-op for you for the CS training that we provide. So teachers and schools should not be being billed for CS training. So there are all of our different options on there, and we'll come back to this in a little bit because that will get into when we start discussing advanced options here in a second, that will get into that. Okay, so again, if you're seeking certification, for the participants that are seeking certification, you don't have the 5016, you haven't taken the praxis and haven't passed, and you're really just trying to figure out what it takes to become a certified teacher. The Academy will allow you to complete up to 18 graduate level credit hours in CS. The nice thing about that is also, once you complete all 18 hours, as long as you meet the other requirements, you will be eligible to teach for concurrent credit in this subject area. So that's another benefit for each of you who do want to complete the program. The primary 90 hours of training, so 90 seat hours, will be provided by our office, by our specialists and our team, like I said, primarily Zach. Jim will help those of you primarily that are on. He's kind of our online person to help you all. But a lot of us are around. I'll be around those 2 weeks. Kelly will be around those 2 weeks. Other specialists will be in those trainings. So the 6 hours of content that will be initial for those individuals who are seeking certification is designed to be an extended and expanded version of our 1 week high school prep and certification program. It goes more in depth with topics. Zach goes more in depth with examples, and you have more time to really get down into the material and ask questions and develop a greater understanding. Now, please realize that even though it's 60 hours for that initial training, you may have to study on the outside some to be prepared to pass the praxis. That just is dependent on your level of knowledge and how good of a test taker you are. We have some people that take the 1 week and they pass the praxis the first time. We have some people that have taken the praxis 8 times and are still struggling with it. So there's a lot of factors there, but you don't assume just because you go to the 60 hours, you're automatically going to be guaranteed to pass the praxis. It doesn't work that way. And then for those who are seeking certification, you'll have 30 additional hours that you'll be required to take 1 additional week of an advanced level training. And we have a lot of different options on that. We have everything from programming in Java or Python to robotics to you can get your APCSA certification and meet that requirement. So there are a lot of different ways that you can do that. I did not put this in here in the slide deck yet because this is not 100% finalized, but we are still planning on paying individuals $100 a day for the advanced trainings that they take. Now, we may have to not do that because of federal and state dollars for similar purposes and the fact that you're getting graduate level credit hours. But we'll let you know whenever we get there. So we do give some bonuses for typically individuals who take the advanced level training, but I can't promise that at this time, but we are trying to look into if we can do that. Okay, so moving on. I'm not going to read this whole thing. Y'all can go back and read it if you want to. This just goes back into the depth of the program. I'm going to ask Zach to kind of give a 3-minute overview of kind of what his focus is going to be over those initial 2 weeks.
Okay, for the first 2 weeks, which is the expanded version of if you've been through our week-long before, is we cover content that will potentially be on the praxis. So we look at what topics they tell you to study, and we introduce as time permitting what topics we can to get you familiar with it, trying to give you islands to study for the praxis. We practice and look over different types of questions that you may experience on the praxis in the content we're covering computer science. We also give you some study tactics for the computer science praxis. We read and answer questions in pseudocode. A lot of pseudocode on the praxis due to they created their own language, and we get you comfortable and familiar with reading that pseudocode. You don't have to write it, but you'll probably be comfortable enough to write it to an extent at the end of that 2 weeks. we will program. We will build and execute programs in a real programming language. We have content built for Java and Python in that realm. We'll probably be focusing on the Python side, but we do have content in the Java side also. But what will the programs do? They'll help you build your programming skills. For one, for the classroom, they will help you read the pseudocode on the Praxis, because loops are loops. They'll help with ideas for your classroom too, because we'll be doing some fun interactive programs, like with using art and turtle graphics and things of that nature, that you could take back to your classroom and implement if you'd like. We'll also, last year we brought some little physical computing gadgets and we programmed them also. I hope that we will be able to do that again. I don't see why we wouldn't. And we'll also be becoming quite familiar with the year one standards. And you'll find that we cover a good majority, near all the first year computer science standards, the ADE standards. And lots of fun on too. We get lots of laughs, lots of dad jokes too. Be ready for those.
Yes, Zach loves his dad jokes. So, and they're not all bad dad jokes either. So just most of them. Anyway, moving on. So now, those of y'all who are out there saying I already have the 528 or the 5016 and I don't need to go through the prep program. If you have the 5016, but you don't have the 528 yet, you are welcome to go through those initial 2 weeks. We just ask that if you already have a 528 on your license, that you need to contact us before you try to sign up for the initial 2 weeks instead of 3 advanced options. And we really just discuss why you're looking at that and why you're wanting to do that, to see if there's another option. But let's say you already have you're holding certification and you know you don't want to go through the initial 60 hours. You just want to meet those 6 credit hours through other ways. So you'll be allowed to take 3 different advanced training options to meet the initial 90-hour requirement. So what are those options? Well, you have any week-long advanced training option provided by our offices, which is aligned to one of our year 3 courses. You all, if you sign, once you fill out the application on SurveyMonkey, you'll be able to make a kind of a selection of which ones you choose. Or we allow, as I mentioned earlier, advanced placement CSA to count either one of our certification trainings that we provide, whether ASMSA provides it, or if it's a university recognized APSI. So for example, UA Little Rock has an APSI. I have a degree from ULR. I'll call it what I want to. But UA Little Rock has an APSI for APCSA that will count. Now, those of y'all who are already probably out there asking, does AP Computer Science Principles training count? No, it does not. So we do not let APCSP count for this advanced level training for a variety of reasons that I won't necessarily go into. Again, this link takes you back to our professional development listing. And if you scroll down to the bottom, Kelly does a great job keeping this up. So if you have compliments about it, give them to her. If you have complaints about it, send it to me. But she does a great job. And if you scroll down, you'll see all of our various training options. Y'all can see we're very busy. We have a very busy team. But you get into advanced robotics. We don't have the session info link yet for that. But we are like APCSA. We have some of those starting to be scheduled and other ones. So any of y'all can sign up for these now. Y'all, if you have ESC Works and they're already out there and you know you want to go to one, you can, and the link's there, you can go ahead and start signing up for those, regardless of whether you're in the academy or not. You do need to fill out the SurveyMonkey, which gives us your initial contact information. We'll get to that in a second, that we can pass along to the university partners. Well, you can be part of the academy. I will also say that if you're part of our academy and one of the advanced training options fills up, academy participants get first dibs. So if we reach capacity in a particular one, and one of our academy participants wants to get into one of those, we will actually boot someone who is not in the academy to put an academy person in. Now we won't boot another academy person, but y'all get the point there. So graduate hours, and this is where I'm gonna kind of do a brief overview, and then I'm going to turn it over to Sarah and Sandra, or representatives from each of those institutions, to go more in depth. But the graduate hours, you can choose which public university partner you want to sign up through. Now, I will tell you, we have 60 slots per partner. And that's going to be a first come, first serve type situation in the SurveyMonkey. Just be aware of that. You must choose one or the other. You may not switch after we go through the graduate school enrollment process. So I don't know what that would take, but I can guarantee that if I started telling people that, oh yeah, you can switch, then Sarah and Sandra are going to come after me hard, because that is not an easy process for them, from my understanding. So,
and maybe even some others, Anthony.
And maybe some others, Dr. Baker probably. So when you make your selection, make sure that that's where you want your hours awarded through. And if you enroll, let's say, for example, you enroll in UALR program and you want to go to techs later, I'm paying for you at UALR. If you want to go pay tech yourself, that's between you and them. Okay. But once you enrolled, as far as this program goes, you have to stay there. The additional 12 hours will be awarded upon successful completion of select courses chosen by each university partner. I have no real input in that, other than we put out RFP, said this is what we wanted. Sandra and Sarah came to me after talking with their faculty, said, here's our plan. I said, it looks good to me. That's the extent of my input. Beyond the 6 hours this summer, we're just paying for your courses as long as you're successfully completing them. By the way, I didn't put this in the slide deck, but just so I say it, for us to pay for it, all the work has to be completed by December of 2023. Okay, so be aware of that. You have you're time limited on this. And we have this document, which kind of gives you a broad overview of the differences between the two programs. Once again, it's linked in here, but I'm going to let our two university partners take it from here. And if either of y'all want me to share that document back up to the screen, I'm happy to do it. And I'm just going alphabetically by institution. So we'll go to ATU first.
Anthony, do you mind to pull that document up that shows what we have offering? And I did see a question come through on the chat for somebody that was in the academy last year, that was in the first cohort at ATU. And the question was, if you were in the first cohort, do you have to finish their ATU? Yes. So everybody that was in the first ATU will have that option extended to you to be able to do 12 additional hours that we have listed here. But you can't switch to the UA Little Rock because you're already in our system, and that was part of the agreement. But if you are new for this new cohort, you do get to choose if you do UALR or ATU. Am I right on that, Anthony?
We haven't really discussed individuals from last year's ATU program. Let's pin that and let's us three discuss that. I don't know I don't want to answer yes or no at this point without knowing what problems that might present and what unintended consequences it might present. I do see if individuals want a cybersecurity focus, that they, that we could look at that. But I don't know about how those credits are going to transfer to UA Little Rock, et cetera. So let's pin that. If one of my team members will capture that person's information that asked that question, so we can reach back out to them later after we determine that.
Okay, so Anthony, do you care to scroll on that document to get to where it has the listing? Yeah. Oh. Up a little bit to the bottom of the first page where it has the list of there we go, right there. Perfect. Okay, so I'm actually, like Anthony said, I'm the point of contact. However, I am not the one that's in charge of the courses. I am there to help make sure that all the logistics goes appropriately accomplished. So we're getting you into hotel rooms, we're getting you Lunch will be served in the cafeteria. We do a working lunch, so we are able to go in and fix to go lunch plates and come back and work in the classroom. But I am basically just your point of contact for the entire program to help you get into the graduate program, go through the admissions program process. But I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Jerry Wood, since he is our chair for the grad program here at ATU.
Hello. Yes, I'm the chair of the graduate director for the program for ATU. And yes, you had the 12 additional credit hours, and I saw on there on the sheet that it said that it was for programming emphasis, but it's actually, it is programming, but it's actually it's also a bit more. It's also getting, like you see on the screen here, for database, also computer networking. So it gives you more of a broad approach towards getting you some information there, like how networking, how your computers connect to each other, for example, and database systems, how to make a database, how to administer a database, things like that. In our emerging trends courses, those are actually something that we have a different topic every semester. Like we have a cybersecurity course this fall. We have perhaps even data mining, data science, different courses we offer each semester. So that topic changes every semester when we teach that course, in order to give students some options there, something they may be more interested in doing. So we can repeat that course twice there for credit. That's what we have listed there once, but you can repeat the course twice for 6 credit hours, because the topic again does change each semester. Of course, if you have any questions on this program, I'm happy to answer them and help you out. You can talk to me via my email, jwood@atu.edu. I'll put that in chat here in a moment. And also, you can also give me a call. I'll put my contact information there in chat here in just a minute.
And Dr. Wood, if unless you're needing to jump off, we're going to hold questions till the end.
Very good then.
Thank you.
I'll wait.
Thank you, sir. Okay. So anything else from ATU? Thank you for sharing that. If not, we'll go over to Sandra.
Okay. Here. And move that out of my way, and we're gonna go here. Okay, well, that's not where I needed to be. Let's go home here. All right, so I'm all set now. Thanks everybody for your patience. We are, I don't even know where I'm supposed to start because Philip was supposed to do this. All right, let me get together here. So our program is cybersecurity. It's part of the National Cyber Teaching Academy, which is an NSA grant that we just received, where we have actually 90 teachers nationwide that we are offering the graduate certificate in teaching cybersecurity to. Our course offerings are the first 6 hours, as Anthony has said, do come from the ADE, and all the courses are taught by experienced instructors. And then the next 12 hours come from the NCTA graduate certificate. The first one is teaching cybersecurity, which covers key topics related to teaching cybersecurity, including curriculum guidelines, models, strategies, and instructional tools. Then we go into foundations in cybersecurity, which covers the broad topics of cybersecurity, including adversarial thinking, risk management, legal and ethical foundations, privacy, all that good stuff. And then
I just made it on.
Oh, good. God,
yeah,
take
I'm
over.
going to cover the courses.
Yes.
Sorry about that. I was just finishing another panel discussion. Yeah, so that first course in Intro to Cyber or Foundations in Cybersecurity, yeah, sorry, after the 7301. The 7301 is really interesting because it's using a national body, a national organization that has multiple, it's pulling multiple different cybersecurity curriculum together and teaching you how, after, years of experience in teaching cybersecurity in high schools and running camps. They provide a lot of information about what's effective and really kind of leads you into that preparatory course of cybersecurity, gets you prepared to teach an advanced level course that would substitute for college credit at multiple universities. And that the second course is, it's not so much the technical. We will be getting our hands-on technology and and running through some different labs. But we're really just we're looking at the foundational aspects of cybersecurity, the philosophy of adversarial thinking, looking at some of the ethical questions that cybersecurity introduces, the way you think about it from an organization perspective, from a systems management perspective, privacy perspective. So it's really a lot of how do we think about cybersecurity? How does it interact with society today? And it's not an education course. It's really this would be a master's level course for our computer science majors as well, to just give you more background in the field of cybersecurity and the underlying basis for it. 7320. This is the largest workforce need in cybersecurity is in the operations centers. That's where where you hear a lot of the numbers about 3 million unfilled jobs. That's where this is coming from. Just the day-to-day operations of cybersecurity. And this will be a unique course because you will take this with the rest of the National Cyber Teaching Academy. And Sandra, have you already talked about the NCTA where those kind of converge?
Briefly.
Okay. The NCTA is going to be taking it on a slightly different pace, and they'll be taking 2 different courses than this program. And in the summer of 2023, we'll have 2 courses that are dedicated to cybersecurity operations, and those 2 will converge together. And really, as part of this, you'll be part of a larger network of teachers from 28 states that are also developing these advanced level cybersecurity courses to be the kind of introduction to cybersecurity at the university level. Cybersecurity operations will be hands-on, and this goes hand in hand with the practicum course, where we are getting industry experts that we're talking to the US Cyber Command, Microsoft, Google, local folks here as well. Some of the banks, some of the utilities have expressed interest, where you will work side by side in performing real activities in a secure operations center environment. Not that you'll be working independently, but you'll have the ability to reflect on that experience so that you would be able to take that back into the classroom and say, okay, well, this is where this applies. So this is why cryptography is important, because we're going to be in an operations environment. This is how they use it. So you'll have that hands-on coursework it's not an internship, but it is intended to give you a strong background in the operations center environment. All right, and timeline, yeah. And I think I agreed to take this one as well. Okay, so let's see. The timeline for the ACTA is slightly different than what we have for NCTA. You all have up to the summer to enroll and apply and enroll in courses, and then the ADE will offer those courses throughout the summer. We decided for the NCTA, we are offering the 7301 and 7310 this summer, but I think it will be better for you all. That's just a lot to pack in at one time. And so we're going to have special offerings just for the ACTA in the fall and spring, and that will catch you up in the summer to participate with the rest of the scholarship recipients with the NCTA. And those fall and spring courses in cybersecurity, the one will be taught by Teach Cyber. They will come in just for the ACTA, and all of those are remote. The classes will be offered in the evenings to align with your school schedule, and we are pretty flexible. So it's not like we're taking attendance every night. It's a graduate course, and so we understand that you're motivated to be there, but we do want to provide a good synchronous online experience so that you're working in labs together, you're working with your fellow students, and this is really intended to be a networking opportunity as well. So you'll get to meet folks from around the state and from around the nation that are doing a similar thing and looking to develop that network of how can we create this cybersecurity course in high school, the curriculum in high school, in a way that computers, maybe 10 years ago we were doing for computer science. And so this is kind of on the verge of being able to do something like that and doing it big time in Arkansas. And then end of next summer is when we'll complete the program for this one. You'll have 18 hours to do the concurrent credit.
We'll go to enrolling here in a little bit. I don't know if Sandra, you remember that, but we'll jump back to that in a second when we come back to the different programs. I do want to clarify something that Dr. Huff said, and he said that they won't take attendance. That's for their classes after the initial 6. We do take very detailed attendance during the initial 90 hours. Because we are awarding professional development hours to you all also during those 90 hours. So, and those come from out of our office. Now, obviously, y'all know the rules around professional development. It's even though you attended, it's still always up to your superintendent whether it is acknowledged or not. So, that said, I'm going to take back over the share screen for a little bit. And we'll go from there. Okay, so we're going to go through general format information of the academies, and then I will let we'll go up to each group or each institution, each partner will kind of go through their enrollment process. But I think it's going to be a lot similar for both, or very similar for both. But logistics format, in person or virtual, you will have the option to choose. Okay, both in person will be available at ATU and UA Little Rock. Personnel will be on site at both locations. However, Zach, our lead presenter, is going to present from one institution 1 week in person, pipe it into the other institution via distance learning. We'll probably use the Zoom platform because that's where virtual participants are going to join in, but we do have professional cameras and things of that nature to ensure that you can hear him well, microphones, and see him well and see what he's sharing. And then he will swap. He will go to the other institution and be in person at the other institution for the other week, and we'll pipe the digital learning into the other spot. But you will have personnel there, myself, Kelly, other CS specialists to be there with you in person and help you out. Participants who are virtual, we will also have individuals online with you to support you all depending on the number. Jim's pretty good, and he can usually handle up to about 30 or 40 by himself pretty easily. If it gets more than that, we may add additional online participants. And y'all are freezing on my screen. Hopefully y'all can still hear me.
It's in and out, but we do hear you.
Okay, so y'all are moving again. Did y'all hear all that? Or did I drop out?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. Everybody froze on my screen for a period of about 30 seconds. So my apologies. We've been having trouble all day up here at ADE. So anyway, okay. So travel expenses. We do cover travel expenses for the in-person participants during the summer initial 90 hours. Okay, so whether it is you're doing the 3 weeks of advanced training or you're doing the 2 weeks of certification prep and the 1 week of advanced, academy participants, regardless of which institution you're at, we will cover travel for you. The two institutions are arranging for hotel as needed. Is that still correct, Sandra and Sarah? So you'll work with them to get your hotels set up. or if you need lodging, they'll set it up for you. And then we pay some other things. We'll pay you mileage, but we have to follow state and federal rules on this. So there are some caveats to that. Per diem will be provided for non-provided meals. So at both locations, if you're in person, we're going to provide you lunch. So you're not going to get a per diem for lunch for each day. There are some limitations on that, but I mean, it's the rules that we have to go by. So just be aware that we are helping you with your travel costs. Travel expenses will not be covered for beyond the initial 6 hours of graduate level credit. Okay, so when you're doing the ULER program, I think it's all virtual, so it doesn't matter. I can't remember if the ATU, the additional 12 hours are all virtual, but we do not provide travel, even if there are in-person events for after we get out of the summer initial 6 graduate level hours. And I'm sorry for those of y'all who want to do virtual, we can't reimburse your at-home lunches. Okay, so or your snacks. So just be aware of that. I just like everybody to be, clear on that. And also, it may take some time for us to get reimbursements. I'll tell you, the biggest delaying factor on reimbursements is typically not getting paperwork back from participants on time. So y'all are typically the members of the cohort are the ones that are responsible for delays in us reimbursing. So as we send y'all requests for paperwork or signatures, please get back to us pretty quickly on those. So I'm going to talk about the application process in general, and then I'm going to invite each institution to talk more specifically about theirs. If you're interested in doing this, the first thing you need to do is you need to go out and fill out this SurveyMonkey application. And it's not a very involved application. I think the biggest component of it that might be some steps for y'all is that you do have to get a letter of recommendation from your superintendent or a superintendent. And that is simply because we are wanting to ensure that it is educators who are taking advantage of this academy. The graduate level credit hours aren't. And so, if there might be people who have calls to try to get these hours, even if they're not planning on teaching. So we do ask you to get a letter of recommendation from a superintendent. Now, does that say that if you have that letter of recommendation, you go work in the private sector, you got to pay us back after the fact? No, but, just realize that the intent of this is for getting teachers and prospective teachers this content knowledge. So once you fill that out, we will provide that information to our points of contacts. Notice the 2 dates at the bottom, and Dr. Huff already alluded to this. March 30th is our priority deadline. So that's going to be our first wave that we hand over to Sandra and Sarah after those that we have through March 30th. And then if we have additional spots, we'll continue taking additional applications up until April 30th. And just realize, though, that you may not get your selected first choice of institution if they're full. We're not guaranteeing it even up to the March 30th deadline, because once we get to 60, we're at 60. So, but know that those first wave of applications are going to be put in March 30th. The earlier you can apply, if you can get in before that priority deadline, please do so, because you will have to go through a graduate school application process with each. It's not hard, but there are steps to it. So I've been going ATU first, so we'll reverse the order for this one. We'll let Sandra go first on this one. I got to keep them on their toes.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for it, so hold on. All right, so ours is a pretty simple process. Our admission requirements is you do need a GPA of 3.0 or higher on your bachelor's. We can do conditional admission granted if you do have less than a 3.0. So if you do, let me know. If you read any of our websites, it all says that you need a GRE, but we're definitely not requiring that. Starting the application, pretty easy. You create an account. There is a $40 fee, but you're not going to pay that. You're going to use the code there, and that's also on the website. You're going to need to list all of the institutions you attended, not just the ones you got a degree from, but every single one that you attended, and then submit all the required documents, which includes transcripts. The official transcripts from all the institutions. I'm working on the immunization record. I know we got it waived for the national because that's all online, but because we're going to be on campus, we may still need that.
Excuse me, Sandra, only because this has come up several times recently for applications for the MS in computer science, you can submit unofficial transcripts for the purposes of being reviewed for admission. You have to have submitted official transcripts before you can enroll.
Okay, there we go. The reference letter, one of them can be the same one you get for Anthony, just upload it here and that's absolutely fine. And then what to expect, I think, oh, look at that, there's me. Anyway, there's absolutely no prerequisites for any of our courses. If you understand programming and computer architecture, it's helpful, but again, it's definitely not required. And then become familiar with the terminology, cyber wiredness, yeah, all that good stuff, right, Philip? I'm still learning it all. And then the time requirements, just make sure that you allow enough time for a typical 3-hour graduate course, which is about 2 hours of study for every hour in the course. We're going to meet in the evenings online twice each week during the summer, but you guys are going to do it over the fall and spring semesters. So that should just be once a week. And then about the courses, it's a combination of lecture with a few classes flipped. So we work on labs. All of our exams are open book. And then as Philip said, it's not taken, but if you can't make it, we do need to know, you do need to make up the work, and all of the work is required, because if you don't do the work, you can't pass the classes. If you don't pass the classes, Anthony's not paying your bill. So that is about it as far as we are concerned, as far as applying and enrolling.
Okay, thank you. And we'll go back through the chat here in a little bit and the questions that are out there. We'll also open the floor to questions. So if we don't get to one, just yell it out here in a little bit, but we'll have a voice of chat here in a little bit. That said, Sarah, are you still out there? Yep. Okay, I see you now. You want to kind of go through your process a little bit?
Yes. So I'll go through some of the process and then I'll let Dr. Wood jump in and talk about some additional requirements. The things that we ran into last year was we just saw how it worked. So what we actually do is we will give you a specific code that will be for a specific admission requirement in order for you to have your own, basically you are a special program. And so you will not just do a general admissions. We will give you a private link. But just like Sandra said, you're still going to be required to do everything that you would normally if you were applying for any kind of graduate school. You're going to have to still have your transcripts. You are going to have your immunization records, and they will have to be up to date. So if you've not had that booster shot, there's a very good possibility that you could have an immunization hold on your account and you won't be able to get your transcript. So you'll have to have that done and get turned in. So this is just some things to think about as you're wanting to apply to make sure that you have on hand. Because that was a holdup last year trying to get everybody admitted into the grad school. It is just like your regular grad school requirements that you would see on our website. It's just you're going to be applying through a very specific private code that is specific to this program, but we're actually getting you into our grad school, so all of the other requirements still hold true. And yes, because just like they were talking about Euler, you are going to be on campus, even though all of our other courses are online. You are still going to have those immunization records because you are still stepping foot on campus. So I think that's just about it. It's just that there's several steps to getting admitted into the grad school. So you'll send in your application, then you will have your application reviewed actually by Dr. Wood, and he will be the one that admits you, and then they will send out for you to send in any other additional information that we need from you. So I'm going to actually turn this now over to Dr. Wood so that way he can discuss any other requirements that we're going to have.
Well, for the certificate, you already mentioned everything that we needed for admission. If you want to go on for the master's degree in IT, you're welcome to do that. You would need to go ahead and apply for. Seeing also a chat question about this as well, so I'm answering it now. That you need to go through and apply for admission to that program as well, and that would require you to have 2 semesters of programming under your belt, as well as a course, a math course beyond college algebra, in order to have unconditional admission to go into the program. But our program really is designed for people that do not have a certificate or the master's degree. It's for designed for people that have no background in IT whatsoever. Actually, just about everyone that comes in our program has zero knowledge of IT when they start off.
Okay, thank you. So I think that really kind of takes us to the Q&A portion of our section. And I was over here sending a Slack message to my team. Does anyone on my team want to kind of be our voice of chat to ask the questions? Go back to the top and Sandra or Sarah or any of the representatives of the 2 university partners, if it's germane to your institution, I'll let you take it. If it's more general, I'll try to take a first stab at it.
I can do that for us.
Okay. Thank you, Jim.
All righty. Let's look at, we have the question that we're going to discuss about, there's several questions in there that say, if they're cohort 1, do they reapply for the 12 hours? Are the 12 hours they already have? Do they reapply for the future hours? Kind of how do they run if they already have their 12 hours?
I think Dr. Wood and I can answer this one. So if you did go to ATU last summer, I'm pretty sure you do not have to go through the admission process again. And those 6 hours will count then, of course, towards the 18 hours of the grad certificate. You just have to do the 12 that's listed. But Dr. Wood, they don't have to reapply for admission, correct?
As far as I know, that's not something I have to do again. Once you get in, then you're in.
Okay.
You also will not have to complete the initial 6 hours again. So you won't have to go through the Academy 2-week or the advanced. You'll need to take the courses that ATU has set up for the other individuals. Also, I don't think any of the individuals who didn't complete properly last time are on this call. I'm not sure. But if you received an F in either the 6 hours last summer, sorry, you can't try to continue.
The next question kind of led into ATU having a graduate certificate that leads to a MS, and asking U of A Little Rock if their graduate certificate cybersecurity will also finish in degrees such as the MS, maybe in cybersecurity.
Well, ATU does have you can continue on after you finish your certificate, and we do have a master's degree in IT, and that's actually what I'm over right now. So absolutely, you can do that. And those credits, it's the same courses for our master's degree in IT. So the certificate, when you've complete that, you've already taken half the courses, over half the courses actually, you need to finish up your master's degree.
We will pay for the initial 18.
Yeah, and for UA Little Rock, we're not there yet. We're developing the cybersecurity curriculum for the master's program, whether that feeds into computer science degree or a master's degree in cybersecurity. We're probably about a year out from getting everything filed with the state for that.
And we had a teacher, their superintendent is leaving June 1, and they were wondering, or July 1, I guess, they were wondering if a principal could write the letter. They don't really have a superintendent maybe at this time.
If you don't have an actual superintendent at this time, I will accept a principal letter, but if like if your superintendent is on suspension or something, but if your superintendent is still at that school, even if they're not going to be there next year, we would prefer a letter from the superintendent if possible. But reach out to me individually if there's other concerns.
And then there was a repeat question about the ability of the cohort 1 to go to U of A Little Rock. And is that on hold? We're looking at that.
Yes, that's something that we will have to talk about between myself and the two different institutions to look at potential unintended consequences. We understand that there might be desire to do that, but we also create problems that we don't need to with this program.
All right, and let me take his info right quick. Okay, got it. If we've already applied to SurveyMonkey, do we wait until March the 30th to know if we were accepted?
Yes, we will. March 30th, we'll download all those applications. We'll look at it and make sure that the criteria has been met. If you want to ensure that your application has been received, you can email at cs4ar@ade.arkansas.gov and just ask to confirm that we do have your application on file, but we will not download those until March 30th.
For ATU, the 2-semester program requirement, is there a test out option, or do I need more undergraduate hours?
I'll be happy to talk to that person offline here and see what we
Okay.
can do about working that out.
Okay.
And after we get done with the general main question area here, we are going to open up a couple rooms where representatives from each institution will go in. If you have more specific questions you want to ask them about their institution, you can.
And someone has applied somewhere else, but they haven't heard back. Should they go ahead and fill out the SurveyMonkey? But if they hear from one, they're going to take the other one? Or is there anything wrong with completing the SurveyMonkey now to apply, even if you turn it down later?
I'm assuming that's for people who have applied through Sandra's full program, would be that application.
Right.
There's no problem with you going in and turning in the SurveyMonkey. If Sandra comes back and says you're part of the full program and she lets you into that program, then that will be a spot that we open up for the academy for somebody else.
All right, I feel comfortable. I've got everyone. So if you open it up and I missed you, please, when Anthony gives you that opportunity, take it.
Okay, so if that's all the questions in chat, we'll just kind of open the floor. If anyone has general questions, once again, we will be breaking out into breakout rooms for the individual institutions in a little bit. But if you have something that you think might benefit everybody, please ask in here, because we cannot record those individual breakout rooms. Are not going to record them. We probably could, but we're not going to. And we will be posting this, and I'll be sharing a link to it for you all if you want to go back and review it afterwards. So that said, I'll open the floor to questions.
Hi, Anthony. So I have a quick question. So the 6 programming undergraduate credits you have to earn to do the master's degree at ATU, would the classes that we take, that we get credit for, the 18 hours as part of this academy, would those meet that requirement, or would there be additional classes we have to take to meet that requirement?
The classes that you would take for the academy, it's not going to satisfy that. Sorry to say. That's something that we'd have to talk about later offline. We can talk about that, or in the breakout room. But those 2 courses help prepare you for other graduate courses that you would need in software development.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm glad Dr. Wood understood that question, because I didn't really get all of it. My apologies, Ethan. So I saw that we had another question pop up in chat about requirements to teach. There's not a requirement that you teach a certain course next year to be part of this academy. Once again, though, we are doing this to try to get more teachers to teach CS, but we're not going to go to your school and say, oh, you're not teaching, you took cybersecurity through Euler, you're supposed to be teaching a cybersecurity course. That's not the purpose of this. We want you to teach courses that obviously align to your expertise, but there's no requirement of being part of the academy and then you have to teach XYZ course.
Yeah, thank you for that, Anthony. And I think where that question came from is for our national academy. It was a requirement that you're either teaching cybersecurity or you're going to teach it within the next year. So definitely not a requirement in this program.
So I saw a question of what's the difference between a 528 5016. 5016 is an approval code which you can gain through professional development training. You will get the 5016 at the end of the 2 weeks, the initial 2 weeks. Now you do have to submit a form. We have another form, Survey Monkey, you have to submit. And that's just for our audit trail purpose. The 528 is a full CS certification. The 528 can only be gained currently by taking the content knowledge praxis and meeting the cut score. What does that mean to you? Well, you can teach the same exact courses with the 5016 that you can a 528. However, you cannot get the $2,000 a year bonus if you do not have the 528. If you're only teaching on the 5016, the approval code, you're not eligible for bonus programs. There are also some other programs that are beneficial to 528 holders. And if one of my team members wants to go out and find that link to the bonus page on our website and drop it in the chat, that would be great. So if you're teaching programming in high school, you should have knowledge of all. Yeah. So what Dr. Cunningham is saying there is if you're coming in as an all certified teacher, there is an expectation that you have basic programming skills. At least I think that's.
Yes, that's what I was saying. It is listed in our master's program that we require 2 semesters of programming, but I'm familiar with the course requirements for what you guys require at the high school level. And if you're teaching in the programming track, you definitely should already have all of that knowledge.
Thank you, Dr. Cunningham. And then Angela's question, are there course descriptions somewhere that show which courses are online, which require face-to-face? I'm assuming you're speaking about ATU's additional 12 graduate hours because all of Euler's additional 12 are on. Philip,
all of our classes are online as well.
Okay, so there you go. Now, if you're talking about the advanced options during the summer, that varies, and it varies based on whether we the advanced courses require a hands-on component or not. Most of ours are both in person or online. We call it a hybrid model, but there are a select few that are in person only. Kelly, help me out with this, but I believe it's robotics, networking, and Eli cybersecurity.
Yes.
So advanced networking, advanced cybersecurity, and advanced robotics are all
game development.
And game development. So advanced Java, advanced Python are hybrid, and then I'm not sure on the rest. APCSA has a hybrid model. Is that correct, Zach?
Online.
Online. Okay. That's why I have a team. They help me remember what I can't.
I have a quick question when you get a second.
Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure I understand, I'm understanding correctly. So you're saying if we already have our 528 certification, we can elect to do 3 advanced trainings this summer, and that would account for our initial 12 hours credit, correct?
It will count for your initial 6 hours of graduate credit.
Okay, yeah, sorry, 6 hours, and then there's 12 more after that. Got it. Okay.
Yes. You don't have to go through the certification prep program, the 2-week, because you've already passed the praxis. So
okay, we can just choose any of the different advanced ones we want. Correct.
Correct. As long as you have three that you have completed, that will work.
And what if we've sorry?
No, go ahead, Ethan. I'm sorry.
What if we've done some of them before? So like the advanced Python or Java. I mean, have the courses changed, or are they basically still the same?
They have changed somewhat because we're building intermediate versions of those. I'm going to ask that if it's Python, you reach out to Zach. Who created Python? You and Jim? So I'm going to ask you to reach out to them and just find out if they think it's substantially different or not, or they can answer it now if we're allowing repeats. And then if Lori's still out there, I think she was our primary creator on the Java. Same thing.
Okay, thank you.
I'll say Python will be different enough.
Okay. Ethan, you might look into, if you're not APCSA certified, that is an option also. So I know it's Java and you may be Python oriented.
Oh, yeah. We do both at the school I'm at. So
okay, because that will count. I saw Brandon's question. Tell Debbie to sign a letter for you. No, I'm kidding. If you really need to go to your principal you feel like to get a letter, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Brandon, I'll text Debbie and say, hey, is this guy okay or not?
Thanks.
Okay, so let's see if there's anything else. So the academy are the same dates regardless of the location, and those are?
So the week of June 13th and the week of the 20th.
There you go. Thank you. I was going to have to pull up my calendar. Let's see here. Looks like most of this other is being answered. Okay. Any additional out loud questions?
I would just like to mention for the ATU courses, I know that Euler mentioned that they meet or planning to meet maybe one night a week in a synchronous environment. None of our courses are set up in a synchronous environment, so there's no live expectation for you. It's all asynchronous. Most of our courses run, 1 week at a time. So the instructor puts things out at the beginning of the week. You have the whole week to work through them, deadline, that sort of thing.
Thank you. So Kelly asked if she has the 5016, can she show up for the advanced courses for the initial 6? Kelly and anybody else with that question or similar situation, I'm going to say probably, but I would encourage you strongly to go take the praxis. Or if you have taken the praxis, let's talk about where your score is, because going directly into the advanced options without a content knowledge at a certain level is not going to be beneficial for you potentially or my instructors. And Kelly, I'm not talking about you individually, I'm talking about in general. Because we are building those intermediates out now. Last year when we gave the advanced trainings, it was really a mix of year 2 and year 3. Our advanced courses, our advanced training options now are tied strictly to those year 3 standards, and they are advanced level. So we really need to ensure that you have the content knowledge to go into those advanced level offerings that we're providing. And you would have to go into one of those because APCSA can only count once. Can't take it 3 times. I don't know who would want to, but. So to that question, if you're in that situation, reach out to me individually. We'll look at the totality of the situation. Okay. I don't see any more in chat, any more out loud.
Maggie Strain had a question that I have too. So do we have 3 separate this summer? Like if we're certified, do we need to take 3 separate advanced trainings? I'm just confused if we choose one or if we choose all 3 this one summer.
So if you are already certified, you do have to take 3 different advanced trainings. You have to take 90 seat hours or 90 professional development hours. And so that would be 3 different advanced level trainings. For those initial 6 hours.
I had a question for those of us that were in last year's program.
Yes, sir.
If we want to stay with ATU, can we just go ahead now and start taking those additional 12 hours, sign up for the next available, or do we need to wait until we get approval from you on that?
Are y'all offering those during the summer, Sarah, Dr. Wood?
We are planning to offer, if needed, a data science special topics course this summer specifically for the teachers in this program. So we were just waiting to see interest and talk to them about dates. But yes, we were doing that for the teachers that were in last year's cohort so that they could go ahead and get started if they wanted to.
Yeah. If you were in last year's cohort, you are automatically going to be approved for this year's cohort. It's just where you want to go. If you're wanting to stay at ATU, then you're automatically approved. If you're wanting to transfer over to Euler, that's a larger conversation that we all have got to have to see if that's even going to be possible. So, Travis, if Becky and Sarah and all at ATU is okay with it, I have no problem with it.
And so, Anthony, I think Kelly and we're working on a letter to send out to everybody that was in cohort 1. And so within that is going to be a survey monkey or some kind of survey to figure out who is wanting to continue and when is going to be the best time to start, because that way we know if we want to offer it as a summer 1 course, summer 2 course, a 10-week course. That's what Becky was saying about not really knowing the dates yet. So we've got to figure out how many students we're going to have interested in taking courses. That way we know when to offer it.
I'll make sure, Melissa, I saw you on mute. Go ahead. Carrie, as long as you have a letter from a superintendent, then we should be okay with that. Okay. Any other questions? Vince, that the CSTA trips the week of 14th through 17th, just don't take an advance option that week. So the CSTA, the 2 weeks that we're providing are in June. So it conflict with CSTA. Okay. Anything else? Okay, well, that said, I'm going to share contact information, and then we will we'll end this portion, and then, like I promised, we'll open the breakout rooms for the 2 different institutes to if you have specific questions that you want to ask them. Once again, contact information here. General Academy questions should go to our CS for AR email address. That way we're sure that it's being responded to. You have mine, Kelly, Zach, Sarah's, and Sandra's there. And then we have a link here to all of our CS specialist team members. So if you ever need to reach out to one of our CS team members, here is their contact information and kind of what their expertise is. So if you're looking, they're all statewide. So once again, you don't have to call the ones that are necessarily in your area. We'll probably involve them in the conversations just so they are aware. But if, for example, you want to look into SMSA's Coding AR Future, then Lori's your contact for that. So that said, I appreciate everybody being online and being with us today, and look forward to seeing y'all this summer. Have a great one.